Wait a
take.
minute.
All right,
I need a pair of unplugged headphones to put on.
all right, all right. Here we go. All right, we're gonna make this official. Hang on.
Standing by.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Here's Talking with Thompson Square.
It's a podcast. Real professional like.
Oh, we're real professional here. How you guys doing?
Woo!
Doing
Are
great.
we live? Are we on the air?
Did you like that intro?
We are live.
Well, guys, we are joined.
Hello, Planet Thompson Square. Good to see you.
We're joined by two heavy hitter songwriters in Nashville, Tennessee, Josh Osborne and JT Harding. How you guys doing, man?
Doing great.
Good. I love the hat, JT. Always in style, man. Always pushing the
thank
envelope.
you.
I love
Well,
it.
my selfie light is very bright. I don't want to get sunburned, you know.
Yeah, I get it, man. It's hot.
Can your viewers see us with all the shining platinum behind Josh over there?
It's hard. It's hard.
Beautiful.
Maybe I could put a diffuser on his screen
Yeah.
to make it feel less self-confident or self-confident.
Yes. This guy, for those of you that don't know,
better?
Josh has had more hits than a vape pen at a Morgan Wallen show. Thank you.
That's pretty good, man.
I love that.
You didn't have to smoke out your background, dude. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
That's what you got to be proud of, man. That's crazy. So Josh and I have written a few songs together. JT, Josh, we've never written together before, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, but yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. I think this is probably the first time we've ever met.
I think so too. I mean, we've probably met in passing or something, but yeah.
It's been a yeah. We just celebrated 28 or 9 years in Nashville.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was time to leave. We felt that was the mark. It was time to get out. Yeah,
Once you get to the 28th year, you've seen it. So it's time to go.
Oh yeah.
You seen it or you didn't see anything, and it's time to leave anyway. It's time to give up.
I've actually been in Nashville 27 years. So yeah, I guess I'm coming up on the big 28 next year. So maybe I'll leave then too.
Yeah, it's good. Well, you should come down to Gulf Shores, man. We'll just start a whole thing down here.
Yeah,
And I don't think Josh knows this. So did you meet at an open mic night or at a gig or something? Because I love the story, and correct me if I'm wrong. You both met, talked a little while, and then went your separate ways. And Kiefer, didn't you say, "That's it, you're not going to kiss me goodnight" or something? And you were together ever since? I've tried that on so many girls. My face has a handprint on it. You know, that just doesn't work for me.
You have an ironclad memory, man. I don't even know when I told you that.
Yes. So that's true, right?
That's pretty true. Yeah. I mean, we met at this this place called the Nashville Nightlife over close to Opryland.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And
place.
it was like a weekly contest thing that Judy Martin had.
Yeah.
And it was so cool because she supported like all the new artists that were coming into town to give them a place to play. And yeah, we met each other that night, and Kiefer asked me to play pool. I didn't tell him that my dad owned a pool hall.
Dude.
So I beat him really bad in pool.
She took all my balls that night.
Wow. And your money. Oh, geez.
They're all gone. I'm still looking for a couple of them. If you see me rolling around, they're probably mine.
It was a little bit awkward, like at the end of the night, like he kind of went his way, I went my way, and I was out in the parking lot, pulling out of the parking lot, and he literally yelled like, "Hey, like, where are you going?" So I put on brakes and backed up. He was like, "You didn't tell me bye." And yeah.
What's so funny about that is, man,
that doesn't work for me. They're just like stalker.
It's almost like she had her foot on the brake, bro. I mean, it's like as soon as I said the words, it's like, "Burp." I mean, that Mercury Sable came to a screeching halt. I was like, got her.
I thought I'd hit somebody or something.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
God, that was so funny. But yeah, that's how it all started, man.
And Josh, he looked at her and said, "Are you gonna kiss me or not?" Yeah, baby.
I wish I would have had that song then. That would have made my life a lot faster.
Yes. Well, listen, Josh and I and Ryan, the other writer on it, we were just floored when we heard the song, because there's a lot of great songs out these days, but sometimes they just sound kind of, I'm not a studio guy, but they sound kind of cheaply recorded, or maybe they were done at home. They're still big hits, let's say.
Right.
But the song that you recorded, you were there. It sounds incredible. Like where did this all take place? Did you produce it, or how did it come about?
Well, thank you, man. And thank you guys for writing such a brilliant song. You know, Shauna was just making a point earlier when we sat down that this song was pitched by Jill.
No, Liz
who?
Moran.
Liz Moran.
Oh yeah.
We've had it for quite some time.
Yeah, that was 2 record deals ago. We had this song, and
Wow.
we didn't think it was really that great the first time. And then I'm just kidding. I don't
We
know.
didn't want you to have a record deal when you put it out anyway.
No, exactly. Yeah, perfect timing. But it's so weird how songs find their way to where they're supposed to go, and this song just kind of resurfaced, and we were like, man, why do we? I don't know if we passed on it or what, but it floored us, man. And the demo was it was brilliant, and
Yeah.
everything about it, man. I was just like, me and Sean looked at each other. We're like, man, we have to record this song. And of course, we had a record deal when we recorded this song, and since then we have did the George Washington thing and fought off the enemy, and now we have our independence again. So it's kind of a bittersweet kind of situation, I think, for all of us here involved, because it is a little bit different when you're independent. You don't have that big infrastructure and everything else. So I know as a songwriter, you're probably like, damn, I wish they had a big record deal so this would have a bigger shot. But I will say this: I do believe, maybe I'm old fashioned or just a dreamer, but I do believe that a great song will find its way. And obviously, Sean and I, we redefine our success in different ways now. But we have hired a small team, and we've got some people kind of in the wings to see if this thing starts getting legs. They can come in and infuse this thing, and then really go to radio. I have to reference Drew Baldridge. I mean, I think he's given so many people hope in our business, because record deals, as you guys know, man, it's just they're great when they're great, and they're terrible when they're terrible, and there's no in between. I mean, there's just no in between. And when it's working, it's great, and when it's not, you want to get out. And if you're not going to have success at radio, if you're not going to have that team really pushing your stuff at radio and really believing in you and really answering the phone, hey, this is Thompson Square Records. It's very tough, and we saw that dynamic happen through the 6 years of having hits, where everybody was just like, yes, 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 yes. And then we saw it when something really spoiled the apple cart, and we were like, whoa, what's happening? Because it was like a light switch.
Mhm.
And Shauna's a little bit more wise, I guess, than I am when it comes to knowing when to get out. But
Oh, wait a minute. What did you say?
I'm going to delete that in post. But just a wise ass. But that's just that's kind of where we are right now. I bought the masters back. Mickey Jack Cones and Derek George produced this record. Obviously, we had a lot of input on that. They were incredibly easy to work with, because they were like, "Hey, we know you guys know what you want. You guys can, you produce records and stuff." And I was like, "Well, I want this to be a collaborative thing, and Mickey really shined in the post. I mean, man, he really brought a lot of things to life. Really a brilliant guy on the back end, especially."
And
And
then we really wanted the song to be, very similar to the demo, because you guys did such a good job on the demo.
who did the demo?
So the demo, that's a big part of the story, is Ryan Tyndall, who we wrote the song with, who lives back in Texas now. Ryan, did either of you ever work with Ryan by any chance?
No.
He didn't write a ton, but their demos in name only. Ryan would literally like put himself through the ringer making these demos. Like he would be emotionally attached to these songs. And so you guys were probably the second pitch on this song, because originally Chesney went in to record this song and ended up not making the record. Like he didn't feel like it was right for, that project, because it was a ballad. And when that happened, it like devastated Ryan.
Wow.
Like, because he said it's going to be a long time before I can, because he's like, I put my whole heart and soul into that demo because I love the song so much. He felt emotionally attached to it.
Right.
So there was always going to be this high bar that was hard to reach, because we loved the demo that much too. I would get emotional listening to the demo. I would be like, sometimes as a writer, you can have this out of body experience of feeling like, I forgot I'm even a writer on this. Like I got caught up in the song. And we had that from listening to the demo, and I got it again when I heard your cut, because JT said, "Have you heard this cut?" And I was nervous to listen to it, because I mean, I'm a big fan. I love what you all do, but I was like, I just loved the demo so much. We have this Nashville thing of demoitis. Like we get so hung up on, and it's not that we wanted exactly like the demo, but what you guys did with Mickey and Derek and you guys as a team, you got the heart of the demo. You were able to transplant the heart of that demo into your cut. And it's fantastic. I mean, it really is spectacular. You guys sound amazing on it.
Thank
And
you.
I was so blown away. And I just told JT, I was like, this is, you know, JT, typically JT's not known for writing, good songs. He's
No,
just
I
sort of
know, I know. That's why we don't write anymore.
right, the goofy stuff,
Wow. Yeah.
and
Thank you. Thank you.
oh,
Really.
some party people, whatever, and that kind of stuff. But when he has it in him, but you have to aggressively pull it out of him. So it was like for him to share that with me, I was like, oh man, have they turned it into a party anthem? How is he going to pick up girls with this song? But then I was so pleasantly surprised that you guys just, I mean, I'm sorry to brown nose, but just the cut's spectacular. You guys
Well,
really knocked it
In
apart.
all of our years of recording in Nashville, I've never cried on the first listen of a demo.
Mm.
I just started bawling at the
Yeah.
end. I was
Yeah.
just like, and right now, just thinking about it and talking about it, it's just so emotional. And I mean, the first 10 times I listened, every time I would cry. So when music hits you like that, you got to pay attention.
Well, there's not a whole lot of those songs out there, and especially in the dichotomy that we're all caught up in right now with what's going on with radio and everything else. It's just hard to get a real song through, And I don't know that it would be any easier if we were on Warner Brothers to get this song through. But I will say this: I did play this for a B-Dub out in the Northwest and Fathead up in the Northeast, and they were like, "Man, this might be the best song you guys ever cut. Can we play this song?" I was like, "Well, listen, I don't have a record deal." They're like, "We don't care. We want to play this song's got to be out there." So, I've called a lot of people, program directors who they might be iHeart or Cumulus, but they still have a little bit of latitude when it comes to what they get to play.
Yeah.
And so they're playing it. We're working on XM right now, trying to get that done. But I really believe that all that's going to take is having someone that has the nuts enough to just put it out there and support the song, because it's not just about what we want as artists as Thompson Square for us now, given that we just got out of three bad record deals in a row, and now we're independent, and that's kind of how we're going to stay. But we want to stay true to the quality of songs that we try to put out. And we had to listen. I'll be honest with you. I wrote them, and Shauna wrote them. But there's a couple of songs that were big hits for us that I'll just tell you I didn't like at all. But they ended up being big hits, and I'm grateful for that. But that was at a time when you're coming off a Kiss Me or Not, so you get a little bit of latitude. But man, if we would have had a song like this after If I Didn't Have You, I'm not sure that the light switch would have been off when it did. But it's one of those songs, man, that as a singer going in the studio and just singing to a track. And like you said, Josh, it's like I got lost in the emotion of the song. And I think when a song transcends the lyrics and melody and it becomes a part of who you are, that's when you got something, And I'll just say it. I think I think that if this song was on the top 40, it'd be the best song on the top 40. I mean, I think it's just a beautiful song. And I can't say that if I wrote the song, but I can brag on you guys. But man, I mean,
Thank
y'all's, I obviously I know JT a lot better, unfortunately, but
Yeah, sorry about that.
looking at just, so I pulled up. I mean, I knew, Josh, that you've written a ton of hits, and I started looking through your discography, and I was just my printer ran out of paper. Actually, I have to go get another ring. I got to go to Office Max.
He's written a lot of misses too. Don't forget. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. But JT, you're no slouch, man. I mean, songs like "Smile" for Uncle Cracker,
Yeah.
and just "Beer at the End of the World," and I mean, just great talent you guys are both are, and as a writer, man, I'm definitely in awe of what you guys have been able to accomplish, because being a writer in Nashville and just being a writer and producer is, it's tough, and the fact that you've been there for 27 years and JT, how long have you been in town?
Yeah, it's been, when someone says like, oh, remember 5 years ago, I think it's 2010, but that was 2020. So I've been here since, 2006 or seven, at least. I was kind of, coming back and forth, but I realized quickly when I met people like Josh or, Shane McAnally, with so many spray tans ago for him. When I
Right.
started meeting these guys, they were there every single day writing. And I thought, well, you can't just have, one foot in and one foot out. And you might not remember this, Sean and Kiefer. You were the first band ever that asked me to come out on the road and write. I'd already had a couple of hits, but it was in Wisconsin. I went home to Michigan, and you were like, well, come over here and write with us. And I was like, oh, this is great. You were opening for Darius Rucker.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So all these years later, full circle. And the good news is we have, Zoom and Instagram and all these, My Talk and TickSpace and all these things. So you don't need a record company. You can get these songs right to your fans.
Yeah,
Well,
I wanted to say something really quick too. I understand what you're saying about like we wish you had a record deal or anything like that. I know where you're coming from, but as people that write songs, and especially a song that is emotionally one of my favorite songs I've ever been a part of, the fact you guys are giving the song a shot, that's all that matters to us.
I
Yes.
appreciate that.
The fact that you guys are putting your own, like we get to write these songs and we leave and write songs the next day. If this song by some, the grace of God becomes a hit or something, you guys sing it for the rest of your lives. It becomes a part of your identity as well, and you're willing to take our song and make that a part of your identity and put your stamp on it.
Right.
That means more to us than like, oh, if we had this record deal, or like you referenced it earlier. Look, I've had some hits too that let's just say they don't make it into writers' rounds. Like there's some that you're just prouder of than others. You love all of your children, you really
Right.
do.
Right.
But there's just something different. And so like anytime an artist is willing to take something that we've worked on or any writer has worked on, if a writer doesn't have that philosophy or have that feeling of gratitude toward you as an artist, that you're putting your stamp on it, you're putting your name behind it, then they need to get out of this business, because music is not transactional. Music is not just a business. I know the music business is, but music is still just music. And the fact that you were moved by this song to tears, and I mean, I only have a small handful of songs that I've been a part of that move me like that, and this is one of them.
Right.
So that means more to me than any like we got the Cumulus deal or we got whatever. Like it's I've been in the business long enough, and I've been fortunate to have enough success to know that what's really important is other like-minded people that want to give a song a shot. You have given this song life. This song didn't have life. It was sitting on a shelf. It was dying to be heard, and you guys gave it that chance. So I can't speak for JT, but we're very grateful.
Well, that's amazing that you would even say that, and I could tell just by looking at you mean it.
I do.
I think that's something that gets lost in Nashville too. I think a lot of songwriters, as you guys have been in, hey, let's cue it up at 120 BPM, and we're gonna throw the dart at this, and it becomes transactional. It becomes very very mechanical, and appreciating the song as a songwriter, and then seeing an artist sing it and appreciate your work as an artist who also writes songs. It's a cool thing. I mean, we've pretty much written for ourselves our career, but I've had some people cut some of my songs, and it's always amazing to hear someone else singing something that you kind of wrote for yourself that they appreciated enough to like it. So I definitely appreciate that.
I'm curious, is there a story like behind the song? Like,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. JT, you wanna start it?
Well, I didn't find out one of the major details until today, but here's what I remember. We got together with Ryan Tyndall. I feel guilty I didn't invite him. I forgot he did. He threw himself into the demo. He did also as a co-writer on the song Springsteen with Eric Church, which is a classic. So we got together, and I remember Josh was saying, man, there's a song out that has so many details. It's almost hard to listen to. It's exhausting to listen to. It's like a sponge that's been squeezed so much. And so I think Josh was saying something like, it's like, what have we read? Songs are being written like there's a man playing a piano with one key broken, and he's got a ring on that says Mississippi State College, and the light is flickering a shadow on the wall in the shape of Mickey Mouse. And so he said, we were kind of making fun of songs with too many details. And we said, what if we wrote a song with great details? Because we love those songs, like an actual Bruce Springsteen song or a great Brad Paisley song. But we didn't really remember what was there. We just knew that, the girl was there, the person that you loved was there. And I said to Josh, what made you think of that? This was earlier. And do you remember what song it was?
Yes, but I don't want to say it.
Now,
It was a
come
shame.
on. Hey,
It was
no
a
one's
Shane
gonna see
McAnally
this.
song.
No one's gonna see this.
Well, so it was a Shane McAnally song. It was the song "Unbelievable." that they had a hit with Thomas Rhett. And there's nothing. It's a great song. There's nothing wrong with the song, but even Shane, I would tease him about it and like make up new lyrics with like because there's so much almost excruciating detail in that song.
Didn't you
It's
say
about the
there were
message.
10,000 blades of grass
Yeah, and I
under
said
our?
there were 47,000 blades of grass out in the outfield. I mean, it's like there's so much detail, and I'm like, and I was telling JT, I said, what's strange about that? And I don't drink, but I had just gone on a family vacation. I mean, I wanted to learn to drink, but I just had gone on a family vacation to the beach. And I said, I was just there and I couldn't tell you what happened. Like, like we went to the beach. My wife was there. We had an awesome dinner one night. I don't remember which beach we were on when this happened, like all that stuff. So that's how Grayton and Seaside and all that stuff got in there because we had stayed on a house on Grayton Beach. But we went to the beach one day at Seaside and I was talking to JT about it. I was like, we just did this 3 days ago and I couldn't tell you all.
Right.
And I said, these songs come out and somebody's talking about something that happened 15 years ago and it's just like all of these
Yeah.
details. And I was like, I just remember relationships that I was in before I was married. Like, I remember the broad strokes of them. I mostly just remember the other person was there. It was
Right.
like, we were there together. That was all that mattered. It was
Right.
like, I see this thing with this person. And so that's where the idea kind of careened off of that.
And
Yeah.
I'm from the home of cowboys and country music. I'm from Detroit, so I probably put in the Van Halen and Little Red Corvette. Here's something I got to ask Josh though. This and for people outside of Nashville that maybe aren't analyzing it like we do, most songs work because they have like a structure that works. Verse, chorus, really
Yeah.
great bridge, chorus. This song I didn't realize till I listened to your cut. It reminded me. It goes verse, incredible chorus. And then there's the bridge.
Right.
The beach was just sand until you were there. Then another chorus, and then the verse ends it. It's like a puzzle mixed up perfectly. But Josh, do you remember us doing that? Because I really love how different it is.
I remember because what what happened is the again Tyndall who did the demo and wrote the song with us, he didn't build tracks as we wrote. We sort of wrote the song and then Ryan took it and into his lab and built this amazing track. And when you do that, because like when I moved to town, like I said, I moved here 27 years ago. I moved here in 1998. And when I moved to Nashville, I was writing songs with people when we could write a song if the power was out. You know what I mean? Like we could just sit with guitars
Right.
and write.
Right.
And Ryan had that too. And so like sometimes with track when you're writing to a track, somebody has a design already laid out. Well, this needs to be this way or this is the chorus. And Ryan wasn't like that. And so it just naturally was like, well, it feels like it should start here. And then, well, I feel like we need another verse that talks about this, the Waylon and Van Halen, all that. So we need that. And then we obviously need a chorus. And then I honestly just think in the room, it didn't make sense to go back to a verse because I think we had the concept of we wanted to end the song on the big stinger of like, you know, I can't remember all these other people I loved. You were there. I forget the rest. Like we wanted
Yeah.
to end it on that big idea. But I was like, we can't say that and then go back to a chorus.
Yeah.
Like it just felt like you sort of that's the thought you need to end on. And I think just out of necessity, it was like I think Ryan probably said, we could go to a bridge here, and then a musical break, and then could come because you couldn't do verse, chorus, chorus.
Yeah.
Verse.
So he was like, I think we just need something between them, and it's sort of the old necessity's the mother of invention. I think it felt like we had to go somewhere, and then where we write songs every day, it does you get excited too about the structure's different on this one. We didn't,
Yes.
I've written with people before who are great songwriters, but they'll build tracks, and the person has said to me before, I like the shape of this song. Like they're looking at the track, and I'm like, what the hell is the shape of a song? Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know what that means. And so I think it excited us too because we thought, well, this is unique and different. And
Yeah.
again,
It kind of felt to me like you wrote everything independently. Kind of when I heard it, it's still like, okay, they wrote a great bridge, they wrote a couple great verses and a great chorus, but they weren't labeled yet. And then they just kind of fell in because I think if you're right, if you after that first chorus, if you go to a bridge, now you got a 4.5 minute song, and it seemed like it would have gotten real long in the tooth, and there had already been so much great color already painted, and going to that bridge and breaking that up, and vocally too, it allowed us to have some fun after we'd already sang 2 verses and we already sang a chorus. Give me something else to eat here.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
kind of where it came in. And then it's fun, then it breaks down. And then man, the best part about this song, dude, is the ending. I don't mean when it's over and I don't like it. But the best part of this song to me is the very last couple lines, man. I mean, there were ones that came before you, I'm just like,
Yeah.
dude. And every night I sing it, and I know I'm supposed to perform and an actor of sorts on stage, but every night I sing it, well, not every night, but sometimes I'll listen to the lyrics as I sing it, and it hits me completely different than if I'm just plowing through it and getting ready to get to the next song, And it's such a freaking powerhouse of an idea at the very end to end that song like that, and then just nothing at the end. I love
You gotta show me how to play it. I want to start playing it at songwriter rounds. I don't know how to play it.
Open C.
It's
My favorite part of the
translate.
song is when, and for those of you watching this, Thompson Square fans that won't ever hear the demo, what I loved about your recording, I feel like you kind of tightened it up a bit. The demo is really great, but it's almost like there's a lot of space sometimes between the sections. I love that you kind of tightened the shape of the song up, as someone would say. But I love the New York was just concrete, and I don't know what it's called. And there's a chord change there, and you just go, yeah. I mean, it just gives you chills. I texted you, Kiefer. If someone hears that and they don't get goosebumps, call an ambulance because their pulse is not going.
My favorite part of this discussion is it seems like JT's never heard this song before in his life. Like he keeps saying things like that structure. I mean, where did that structure come from? And then what's that?
I was
part?
there.
He
I
was
was
like,
there.
I was there, and he forgot the rest.
Yeah, I was there. I forgot.
He's not sure he was there.
Well, y'all are joking about all the detail in it, but man, it really does play like a movie in your mind when you listen to it. It's just so cinematic. And that was important for us with the production too, that the production was cinematic because it is almost like a little mini movie.
And everyone that I've played it for is like, man, this sounds like it should be in a movie. It just seems like
Yes.
at the big, huge love scene where they break up or whatever else, or she dies or whatever's going on. It does feel like that. And it's just one of those things that hit on all cylinders, man. I mean,
I love the lyric video you did as well. That happened quick. I
yeah.
posted a little, I just took a clip of it and posted it. I couldn't do better, that's for sure. It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and you know what? Sean and I are down here kind of on an island, literally, but we were like, hey, let's go down and let's take our iPhones and go down to the beach.
You did all that filming yourself?
No,
Not that
not the
filming.
lyric video. The lyric video, a girl named Lauren did that. She did a fantastic job, I thought.
Great, yeah.
But no, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've never cut a video. I don't know man, I'm just barely hanging on. I know a lot about a little, man. I'm just like, I'm doing a podcast. I'm not sure if this is even going to record.
Wasn't that your second single? I know a lot about a little.
Yeah, yeah. And so we took our phones and our son down to the beach, man, and we just started recording, and we recorded some seagulls in the water, and I recorded her, she recorded me, our son recorded us. And we did some selfie stuff, and I took it home and I put the track in and cap cut and just started piecing it together. And I sent it to our social media girl, and she's like, "This is great." She goes, "Who shot this?" I was like, "Well, we shot this on our iPhone yesterday." So I mean, we're gonna probably do. I want this song to work, guys, and not just for us, but for you guys too, because there's just something about it, and we got to get the word out. It's the only time in my career, our career. I have a career, you have a career, but we have a career. So anytime I say I, of course I mean we, because I'd never want to leave you out of any kind of discussion. But it's the first time in our career that I had producers call me and text me. And we were in the airport. Nathan Chapman called me, and he goes, "Dude," I go, "What's up, dude? I
have to say this too. It was at like it was the best timing.
Yeah, I mean, you get your butt kicked in this business, and especially right now, me and Shauna, we have each other, and that's pretty good sometimes. But we have each other to lean on and stuff, and thank God for that. But you just get kicked in the teeth, man. And this last thing with us, it's almost unbearable what we had to go through. And so we have decided just to stay independent unless something really more, ethical and moral comes down the pipe. this is just what we're going to do. We're going to try to find and write great songs and try to do the best production we can and put them out in the world and spend as much money as we can of our own money to promote these things. And because we believe in ourselves and we want to put these out.
I'm sorry, I didn't
But-
mean to interrupt, but that was an important
Yeah,
thing
no,
to put out there.
no, of course.
We needed that phone call.
We needed the phone call. So he
Yeah.
calls me at the most random time, like 3:32, you know, who calls at 3:32, you know, he calls me and goes, Kiefer, he goes, man, I heard the single and I can't tell you everything he said, but there was a lot of colorful language. And he was just like, this song is so freaking great. And you guys are so great. And I remember working with you guys and I so enjoyed working with you guys on the Masterpiece record and all that stuff. He's like, Nashville has got to embrace this. This has got to go. This song has got to make it in some way. I mean, he was so, guys, I'm telling you, he was fired up. Like he just saw his kid win a gold medal in the Olympics. I mean, he was just fired up. And then Frank Rogers, not like the next day, sent me a text and said, you were there, and just all this applause. And so,
And you can't, it's true because you put so many songs out and you don't always get texts like that. I mean,
No.
I certainly don't. Yeah.
no, and that was just that was something that really, and in Nashville you can have 3 terrible years, or maybe not you, Josh. You've never had probably 5 minutes of bad luck, but you can have 3 or 4 years of just like devastation, and then you get one phone call, one little thing, where somebody appreciates what you do, and you're good for another 2 years. It's the weirdest fuel that there is in existence. The fuel of appreciation for an artist or writer that says, this is great, keep going. This might not get cut, but this is the best song out there.
Yep.
And that can drive you for 2 more years, and hopefully you have enough of those little pieces of fuel to keep that fire going until you actually start seeing dividends from your hard work and everything. And so that was
Amen.
those messages at a time, man, where I was just like, oh, we got it. Thank you, God. I needed that. I mean, I think God gives you the things you need when you need them. And we needed that right then, and this is, kind of the beginning, kind of relaunching of our podcast, I think, because, it's just so much fun. I was like, what better way to do this than start talking about this music? And then, we're going to start talking about Shauna's album, hopefully. And if she wants to do that, which is genius. You guys should check out that. That's ShaunaThompson.com. You should check that out as well.
So what year did y'all write this?
I was trying to remember that, JT. I think it was 2016, I think.
Yeah. It's really wild to think about how long ago it was, but it just feels like a moment ago as well. And I keep saying people outside of Nashville are like, how could it just sit around for so long? But a lot of great songs do, sit around until someone discovers them. I don't even know. You mentioned the lady's name. I don't even know how you found the song or who the person was that was listening to it that sent it your way.
Yeah, Liz,
I don't know.
we went in for a pitch meeting with her and she had it and immediately I was
We're
like,
like, we'll have that.
yes,
We'll have
Yeah.
that. If they'll let us have that, we would like
Yeah.
to have that.
please.
Yeah.
But the same thing with Are You
Yeah.
Gonna Kiss Me or Not?
Yeah.
Throughout most of our hits, but that one, which is the one that changed our world completely, that song has sit around for years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And a lady, Tina Crawford, pitched that to us right after we got signed to Stony Creek. And the next year was the biggest song of the year. And then, 10 years later was the number 4 song of the decade.
Wow.
When that song just sat around for years. And I don't even know, David Lee Murphy wrote it with Jim Collins. He's like, I don't even know if we really even pitched that song to anybody.
Right.
Which
It's
goes
a
to show you that you write these songs and I write with a couple guys, not here lately, but it's like the last song that you wrote is the best song you ever wrote. You know what I mean? Just kind of, oh, this is the best thing. I can never do better than this. And you get in those funks to where you can't do better than that. And then you write something that just blows yourself away. And, this is just one of those things, man, where it's just, this song was the perfect timing at the perfect place. And we were super honored to be able to record it. And we know that you guys didn't necessarily have to give us the rights to record it, but man, it would have been devastating not to be able to put our voices on this.
Oh, we didn't think twice about it. And, it's not going to happen overnight. A slow, steady build. I mean, I think this song can go like it certainly won't happen overnight, but all the hard work you're putting into it, these videos, send them my way. I'll I'll post them all. My 7 followers in Arkansas just they love to see what I'm putting out.
I'll add you guys as collaborators on Instagram.
Oh, I'll share it for sure. Yeah.
No.
People love it. I mean, it sounds like we're like bragging or whatever. I just posted a little clip of the lyric video and people started responding, commenting, saying this is an instant classic and stuff like that. People don't ever comment stuff like that. They just say, "Oh, cool," or whatever.
No,
Yeah.
his family usually ignores his music, but that's a good one that they like that one. But I do think we're in a fun time right now. That I know it's a lot of hard work, but you referenced Drew Baldridge, who has a very inspiring story. We're kind of at a weird point right now where I feel like anybody can have a hit right now.
Yeah.
Like there's no like the door is slammed. This person is not having another hit because you would think that, and then somebody does have another hit because it just becomes either about the song or the moment or
There's no
whatever.
equation anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's
I
like
think
there
that
was a
Well,
time.
it's getting more transparent, which I love.
Yeah.
That
And
the
there was
equation's
a
getting-
time, maybe 10, 12 years ago, there was a group of about 15 artists that if you had a single on them, you knew you were getting a number one.
Right,
That list of artists is down to like 3 now.
right.
And it's like, now that doesn't mean you can't have number ones, but it means the ones that are guaranteed, like that's going one, that's going one. And so what that means is the playing field's open a little bit. So it's sort of like if the right song comes or the right promotion team or the right artist at the right time, a song gets in there. And once a song sort of gets in the bloodstream, it can definitely take off like that. And I think that stuff is exciting. I know it's a lot of work and it's probably nerve-wracking to watch it. Like JT said, these things can't happen fast, but like the Drew thing is very inspiring. But there's been a couple of those the last couple of years of people. Now Drew's was an exceptional story of like sort of doing it himself, but like there's been
No,
some
I
songs.
recently heard that Low Cash. I was doing a songwriter round, and someone said this is the number one song, and this week, and everyone clapped, and they said, "By the way, these guys don't have a record label," and I wasn't sure I wanted them to put it out, and I'm just like looking over, like they don't have a record label. It went number one. It's like, wow, this is happening again. So yeah.
They have a cool story too, man. We've known those. I knew those guys when they were line dancers at Wild Horse Saloon. I was a general manager at Kinko's. They used to come in and print their flyers out for their dance lessons.
Wow.
They've always been hustlers, but they have a small label imprint in conjunction with BMG, and they found some financing, and they put this great team together. And yeah, man, they had a freaking number one. It's if you give up, you know what you get. If you don't,
Yes.
if you never know what you get, and that's kind of what
I'd pay to not see them line dance. So
I saw it, and I can't unsee it. I'm just gonna tell you. It's
that's so great. Wow, that blew my mind.
yeah. There's probably some video out there somewhere.
Yes.
Their fun story about you were there. Kiefer and I played a show with Tyler Farr not too long ago. It's been maybe 6 months ago. And we were talking about having new music come out, and we really wanted this next song that we're about to sing to be the single, and it's called You Were There. And Tyler grabs my arm and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. You were there and I forget the rest? And I said, yeah, that song. He goes,
Yeah, suck it, Tyler. You're not getting it.
he goes, oh my God, I love that song. So
Nah.
Wow.
he knew it. He knew
Wasn't it
it.
in his pile or
Don't
report or
know,
something?
but he knew it. He was like, y'all, that song is amazing.
Yeah.
So
It's funny.
anyway, I just wanted to
Our
share that with y'all.
publishers, it's just funny
Wow.
because our publishers a lot of times never tell us. Like
No.
the only reason I knew the Chesney thing was I've been fortunate to have a relationship with Kenny, and so I had just sent that song to him because I knew it felt like him. It just had, especially at that time when we wrote it.
I can hear
And
that.
and again, he loved the song, but and y'all, I'm sure know Kenny and stuff, but he was like, man, I love it. I just need something rocking. Like it just doesn't fit what I'm doing. I just need something rocking.
Right.
So so to me, that was the only person I ever even knew the song was pitched to.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
like, I had pitched it. Because then sometimes we're lucky and we get a phone call, we get an email or something. But I'd never even heard that about Tyler. That's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
Great.
He knew it before we even sang it. He was like, oh my gosh, I love it.
Well, and that's what me and Sean are known for. I mean, it doesn't matter what we sing. It's always going to be the love.
yeah.
It's always going to be the fam. It's going to be, I mean, we can sing a song about doing, coke off hookers, and
Would you stop?
they would go, you know what? They're doing coke off hookers together, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. They're doing it as a family, and so it's just like, it sounded kind of Trump, didn't it? They're doing it as a family, but yeah, it's no matter what. So I think what we and Shauna have learned to do over the years is just embrace that, because we do love that about us, because there's not really
Yeah.
anybody else like us. And sorry, we either you embrace it or it's like your biggest strength is your biggest weakness. So it's funny.
Yeah, for a hot minute, we got sucked into the vortex of, we got to try to be a party band. But I mean, people sniff that shit out real quick. So,
They do.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
got to do what we do. And,
I've
Yeah,
been trying to tell JT that for years, and he won't listen. He keeps.
it's going to be so great. People are going to sign off and go, well, I had this Grammy Award winning guy with 10 platinum records and this other guy, JT, that's never done anything. I don't know why he was on there with them, but
He was wearing a hoodie with a cowboy hat.
yeah.
Who does that?
That's
He was
great.
wearing a hoodie with a cowboy hat, and he'd never heard this song you wrote before.
He was even in the room though.
Yes.
well, I heard
Well, we're so flattered, and anything we can do to help. I mean, it's it's fantastic. I just couldn't, I may have told you this. I'm not sure. People have. I'll speak to songwriting groups at Belmont College or NSAI or songwriter rounds. Number one question: oh, do you ever get a song recorded and you hate how it turns out? And the answer is no. You're always excited. I've never had a song that someone recorded that I didn't like. I don't have that many recorded. I mean, I'm lucky to have 8 or 9 big hits, but this turned out better than I ever could have imagined it. I mean, we really liked the demo. I mean, if Ryan was here, we'd tell him how great it was, but you just knocked it out of the park. It's better than I could have imagined.
Well, you
Yeah.
mentioned earlier, the fans probably won't ever hear the demo, but if we have your permission, we'll try to get that up somehow.
Yeah,
The podcast.
it's not that much different.
Because, the fans, they don't realize how this works. So for them to be able to hear the demo and then hear the finished product with us singing it, I think that would be a cool experience for them.
That would be great. It would be. I don't know how that even works with like publishing and stuff. I mean, like you master ownership. I mean, it gets. We try to do stuff like that. And I wanted to play some of your songs on the podcast, like before we got in there. But if I post that, YouTube will shut it down because of copyright infringement. So it's just like whatever. We just can't do it. Just take my word for it. These guys are heavy hitters. They've written some pretty good songs. Now,
Yes.
I want to touch on one other quick thing. We don't want to keep you guys too long, but Josh, we've never written a song, right? Never written a song, but we have written a song, and you just don't know it yet.
Oh,
So I saw that there's a Wheeler Walker Jr. cut in here from one of you guys, and I've been doing stand-up comedy for about 3 years, kind of off and on, but I'm back into it pretty heavy right now and starting to
which is ironic because Shauna only laughs when you take your pants off.
Oh, but I was on an airplane one day, Josh, and I was in the very back. It was a Southwest flight, and I was A-list, but I got there during the end of the seas, and I went all the way back to the back, and there was a guy in the window seat. I took the aisle, and I thought they'd shut the door. And when you're on a Southwest flight and they shut the door and you got a seat in between you, man, you won the lottery. I mean, that's the jam. So we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, man, they let somebody else back in. And it was this. Listen, I have a lot of large women in my family, so it's not that big a deal. I've been around no problem with plus size women, but this is a plus size woman, and she comes down, and I never would have wrote this song. I never would have wrote this song if she hadn't have been so mean. But she came all the way to the back, and she started. I was going to get up to let her in, and she didn't even allow me to get up, and just squeezed in between me and the front seat. Which put her butt like right. I mean, my face was just planted in her butt as she moved across my face and sat down. She was trying to control the window. She was rude to the staff. I mean, it's awful. Well, Body Like a Back Road was playing on the music, and I write all the comedy stuff by myself, and sometimes when I don't have an idea that's original, I'll write a parody or whatever, So I wrote a parody to your song, and when I get it recorded, obviously you'll find out. But it's called "Body Like a Wide Load," and it also, like, this song is an instant classic. You'll be getting the information on that when I get it recorded. But yeah, it's like one of my favorite songs that in the comedy set, man, people freaking die.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is great.
And I'm like, those guys are gonna be so pissed when they hear this, But
No.
We all got a good sense.
it was fun, yeah. But there was Yeah, that was interesting. It was kind of a low point for my writing skills, but it's at least funny, you know.
Yes.
But well, guys, we don't want to keep you. I mean, Sean, do you have anything else?
I just want to say thank you again for writing such an amazing song and allowing us to record it. I mean, favorite song we've recorded so far.
I mean, it really is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up there.
Thank you both for giving the song a shot. I mean that
Yeah.
from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Well, and listen, if you have any crazy ideas to help with the song, obviously we're kind of all in it together in a way now. I hope one of these days we could, the four of us or three of us or two of us can get in a room when we get back to Nashville. But man, thank you guys for your talent and your willingness to let us record this song. And I can tell by your expressions that you mean what you say, and that really does mean a lot to us.
Oh, definitely. It's fantastic. Thompson Square.
Thank you.
It's going to work.
All right, guys. Well, we'll let you go, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon, man.
Yep. Talk soon.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Standing by.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, you still there? Are you still there?
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were going to edit stuff. You probably already thought about this. You know, I haven't sent this to yet. Who I'm really close with is Ty Bentley. Do you know him?
I do know Ty.
Yeah. And so when he first joined Apple, keep this off the record, it was
Yeah.
like a big secret. He was going to do the Apple Morning Show. And I was like, why is that a big secret? But like literally the internet